Army of the Dead is Zack Snyder's new film that will be on Netflix this week. Following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. It's the year of Zack Snyder. We're getting another Zack Snyder film this year, and Zack Snyder's been kind of a mixed bag for me. I really liked his older films. I really love Watchmen. I think Watchmen is great, and then I don't really like any of his DC movies that he's made. Man of Steel's okay, and then I like the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I will say that. But I was interested to see this movie because Zack Snyder does direct big, epic films, and I want to see this in theaters because, like I just said, you see a Zack Snyder movie, you do want to see on the big screen because he understands the scale of things. He likes to make things really big and epic and dramatic and all of that. The first compliment I'll give this film is the premise. I like it. It's creative. There's a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, and they finally contained it. Like, it's not spreading anywhere else in the world, but it's still in Las Vegas, and obviously with Vegas, there's a lot of casinos, and there's just a lot of unclaimed money there, hundreds of millions of dollars. And a group of people are going to try and get that money. And all that's fun. I also like the zombies. The zombies are really creative in this film too. They're interesting. There's like different types. The design for them is really cool. The costumes, the effects, and there are some interesting aspects with the zombies. They're very different than what we normally see, and I thought that was really interesting. Like I said at the beginning of this review, Zack Snyder does a good job with big, epic movies, like big scale, and this feels big and epic. It feels big in scale, and Zack Snyder did a really great job with that. I also need to give this film a huge compliment for how they implemented Tig Notaro into this film. I'm sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. I apologize. But originally it was supposed to be Chris D'Elia, and then Chris D'Elia's a fucking weirdo, so they had to take him out of the movie without refilming the whole movie. So they filmed all the Tig scenes and CGI'd them into the movie. And sometimes you can kind of tell. It is a little distracting at some points, but honestly, for the most part, it is kind of seamless, and that is extremely impressive. I mean, that's like fucking mind-blowing they pulled that off. There's a lot of gore, there's some cool kills, all that's fun, but ultimately, I thought Army of the Dead was just okay. I think Zack Snyder's made better movies before. This movie does have problems with pacing. It takes a while to get to Vegas. It takes a while to set a lot of things up. And there's points throughout the film, even when they're in Vegas, that really do drag. This movie is way too long. It's like 2.5 hours long. And there are definitely parts I feel like they could have trimmed down. I also know it is a Zack Snyder film. And Zack Snyder makes his films very dramatic and serious. But with this premise, I feel like it could have been better if it was a little bit more fun. And it didn't take itself as serious as this film does. But I know it's Zack Snyder. I'm not surprised this film takes itself serious. And there are points in this film where it does really work. But this premise is just so fun and creative that I wish the film didn't take itself so seriously. Because as I just said, there's a lot of parts of this film that drag. And a lot of that has to do with the tone. Because the tone is so serious, makes the movie drag at some points. Also, character motivation sometimes didn't really make sense. Sometimes characters do things that didn't really make sense to me. There are just some tasks that kind of confused me, and that also made the movie drag as well. Because you would think this movie's pretty straightforward. We gotta go get all this money in Vegas, but there are more complicated things to it that you wouldn't expect. But sometimes it makes the movie a little bit more confusing, which makes it drag. In the end, though, I thought Army of the Dead was just fine. Zack Snyder does a good job directing this film. There are some fun parts. There's some fun gore. The zombies are cool. There's some cool sequences. But overall, I just thought the film should have been a lot shorter. I didn't really like the tone, and I know it's a Zack Snyder movie. It's going to be serious, but I think if it was a little bit different tone, this movie could have been a lot more fun. It takes a while to set up a lot of things, and throughout the film, it does kind of drag. And overall, it should have been shorter. And I wish the tone was a little bit different. I'll give Army of the Dead 6 Davy Daves. This film comes out on Netflix this week, so if you really want to see it, I suggest you could just wait for it. But at the same time, it is a big, epic movie, so you might want to see it on the big screen. That's up to you. I think it's worth watching, but it didn't really blow me away, so I wouldn't set your expectations too high. So, Army of the Dead. Let me know what you guys thought if you've seen it, and thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Davey Dave's Takes.